Welcome back to another video if you're new to the channel. I am Rio. Today's video, as you can see, it's going to be one that I know a lot of you have been waiting for. It has been officially 10 months. Well, actually it hasn't been officially 10 months, but we're very, very close to it. At the time of me filming this video, it is April 13th and I got it done. I got the hair transplant done on June 17th, 2021. So last year, being that it's the 13th, for like 4 days away from the official 10 months. So I'm gonna just round up and we're gonna call it 10 months. This video, as you can see, is gonna be broken down into a couple parts. We have the 10-month update, which I'll be giving you guys in this video. We're gonna be doing a bit of a deeper dive / closer look into my hair. The other part of this video is gonna be all of the products that I've been using for growth or results. Before we hop into the video, I went ahead and did something that hopefully you guys will find beneficial and helpful. Since I've been making these hair transplant videos for the past several months, I received tons of comments on the videos. I received emails. My DMs are flooded with tons of questions, people needing help. It gets a bit overwhelming. When I make these videos, I do the best I can to put as much value and as much information in a video for you guys. So many times, a lot of the questions that I'm getting are things that I've already mentioned and explained in the video. You guys just have to watch them. Once you watch the video, you're gonna get your information. You just gotta invest your time into it. If you're not gonna do that and you're gonna ask me all these questions, I'm not really gonna be inclined to answer the question knowing that I put the information out there. Basically what I decided to do is make a consultation calendar so you guys can book one-on-ones with me. Over on my website, riop.com, I made a page where you guys can basically schedule a one-on-one session with me. Since a lot of you tend to have tons of questions and want more information, hopefully I can provide that for you. The way it will work is you would go over to the website. I don't remember the exact permalink, but it's riop.com/one-on-one consultation. I forgot what I called it, but I'm gonna link it down below. It's gonna be the first link in the description. I'm also gonna pin it in the comments as well. It will be $50 for 30 minutes. You can do either a phone consultation. You ask whatever questions you want to. Anything regarding a hair transplant or hair restoration. If you have those questions, I will give you the advice. I will answer your questions and give you that advice. So it can either be a phone call or we can do a video chat. The video chat will be done through Zoom. I will also be offering some fashion and style consulting as well, because I receive tons of questions. People asking me to help them style this and style that. I'm going to be offering these services so I can place a value on my time, because unfortunately, most of you won't do that. I have to do it myself because I do value my time and I do want to give you guys information that you're seeking. We both can win in this exchange. I give you my time. Of course, you provide compensation for the time, whether it's feedback, whether it's advice, whatever the case may be, I can give that back to you guys as long as my time is being valued. Over on the website, once you visit that link, you'll see where you can schedule the bookings, and then I have basically a description of which each service that I offer entails. Once you do that, make sure you review terms and conditions, and then once you submit, you'll be forwarded to PayPal where you can make your payment. With that being said, my ask for any of you is please do not DM me any more questions about hair transplants and where should you go, should you do this, should you do that. Let's just sit down, talk. I can help you and you can value my time. Again, links are down below in the description and in the comment section. But now that that's out of the way, we're going to be talking first with the update. 10 months right around the corner. Maybe about a week ago, a week and a half ago, I made a couple clips. One clip is my hair uncut, which I think at that point it had been uncut for maybe like 2.5, 3 weeks. It could have possibly been longer. I don't remember. It could have been closer to a month. I'm not entirely sure, but one clip is my hair uncut. I wanted to give you guys a look of that footage so you can kind of see what the donut area was looking like. It has improved a little bit, but it hasn't really improved the way that I would have wanted it to improve. Going into this, I never wanted to have a look of patchiness. I didn't want to look patchy in the back, and I didn't want it to look spotty. I didn't want it to, look like I had a hair transplant. Maybe that was just wishful thinking, because with the 3,000 grafts, you know what they say, with 3,000 grafts, the hope was that it wouldn't really be like that, but at the same time, you just never really know. That is the risk when you're going to Turkey, because I don't know if it's just the country or the clinic, Ashley Tarshan, they're aggressive with their harvesting. Long story short, I have been doing a derma rolling, and I also started using 100% aloe at the back of my head, which I do probably about 4 to 5 times a week. Has it helped? I'm not entirely sure. You guys can look at the footage and I guess gauge that for yourself. So we have the before, and then we have the after, which is of course the post haircut. Before, you guys can just see what the donor area looks like. It does look like it improved a little bit. It is a little spotty, it is a little patchy. And then when I cut my hair, you can see that it has a little bit of a better transition to it, a little bit smoother, but we still have that line that I talked about before, the line that I'm not a fan of. What I've grown to realize, that line is not necessarily there because of how much hair that was taking right there, which is what I kept feeling was the case. But over time, I've been realizing that the hair has gotten a little bit stronger down there. It's not, of course, what it once was, but I think it's my skin. My skin is much lighter in that area. It could be from the trauma itself. It's really hard to tell, but it hasn't bounced back 100%. So the question that you guys probably have is, was I over harvested? If you asked me that question maybe like, I don't know, like 5 months ago, 5-6 months ago, I would have been like, I don't think so, but we'll see. Now, my answer is going to be a little bit different because a lot more time has passed, of course. I'm more like 80% yes and 20% no. And I'm 20% no because when you look at the footage before the haircut, you can see that, it's a little bit lighter in some areas rather. So I guess what I would say is there are some parts where they took more hair than others. So I'm a little bit over harvested in certain areas, if that makes sense, but not entirely over harvested. But that's not what I wanted. I'm going to keep derma rolling. I'm going to keep using the aloe. Maybe in the next several months, I may get SMP to disguise, that area back there. So when my hair is cut and, like this, you won't really notice much of that transition. That may be the goal. So we have to see. Now that you've seen those clips, what I'm going to be doing is taking you guys upstairs to my bathroom, and we're going to be looking much closer at this hair. I'm going to be picking it out for you guys so we can get a really, really good look and see what it's looking like. I think at the end of the video, I'll be talking about how I'm been attempting to style it. Because to tell you guys the truth, this thing is it's a good problem to have, by the way, but it's getting so full and so dense that the products that I'm trying to use is not working for me. I'm trying to do something which is like a slight curl to it, and it's just, no matter what I do, no matter what I try, it's just not working. So if you guys got any advice for me, if you got any advice at all, just let me know. At the end of the video, of course, I'll be walking you through that, and you guys can see what I've been trying to do. But anyway, let's head upstairs, take a closer look, comb it out, show you a close look, and then I'm gonna be going through all of the products that I've been using and tell you about those one by one. Here we are in the bathroom, and what I'm gonna do now is basically just pick my hair out. As you can see, my hair is actually a little bit curly from maybe like a couple days ago when I had some product and stuff in it. I'm going to be using this wide tooth wooden comb, as you can see here. Now, I've actually had this comb probably since my last hair transplant, or at least my first hair transplant in 2015. And I got this comb because I read that wooden combs were better for your hair, and the wide tooth comb doesn't snag and pull in the hair, especially if you have semi curly hair. So this is what this is good for. What we're going to do is basically like get a closer look at this, and if you guys can recall, the grafts were placed pretty much here and in the corners, so pretty much locked in. So I got to be very careful not to really snag and pull in the hair. And this is really good. As you can see, it's almost like teasing the hair. So if I wanted to look fuller while keeping the curls, I can basically like tease it and pull it up like so. I'm gonna work my way through this, get the hair all picked out, and we're gonna like pull it and look at it so you guys can get a good idea. But I'll do a little bit of that really quick here. So you can see here, just along the hairline, really, the corners, the hairline. You can see it's not, you know, 100% full. But you know, I expect to see a little more growth, but I'm gonna pick this all the way out and then come back at you guys. All right. So it is mostly all the way picked out, and I didn't realize my hair was this long because I haven't picked it out like this in a very long time. I look crazy. Look like I got an 80s box or something. But anyway, what I wanted to show you guys mainly was, you know, the hair, where I got the hair transplanted at. So it's, you know, mainly in here. You can see that, you know, here is not really, it's not really that full. And I have some other areas that's like that. Right in here is where I had that infection at before. I just think at this length, it, you know, it can have the appearance of looking extremely full. So the grafts replaced all here at the hairline. I added some density in the corners. And in one of my previous videos, I think it was in January, which would have been month 7, I talked about not having as much density over here. And that has really picked up in the past, I would say, couple months. And in general, in the past maybe like month, I've seen my hair get much fuller. Of course, that's the crown there, if you can see that, which everything is just comes down to the supplements, the medications, everything I've been doing to really get this hair to be as full and as thick that it is. And man, it's coming along great. If I cut it lower, you may be able to see some of the areas that's not as full, not as dense. When it's this long, it appears to be much more coverage, like I mentioned in one of the previous videos. And I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I think that it's a little bit easier to disguise when it's just longer because, you know, the hair is pretty much growing and covering other spots. Needless to say, you know, there's a potential that I could cut it and it would look just as full. You just never really know. Hopefully, you know, I'm able to really pull that hair apart so you guys can see. You know, I didn't have anything placed here in the middle. And I just think when you pull the hair apart, if you have a much thinner line like that, I think you can tell that it's a little more, that tells you that it's a little more dense. You know, like there's a lot more, the hair is much thicker in that area to where you pull it apart, and if you pull it apart and the line is much wider, you can tell that the hair is not as dense in that area. At least that's kind of how I look at it. So you can tell in certain areas, it doesn't really pull apart, you know, that seamlessly. So you can tell that, you know, but as I mentioned before, I am happy with this. In general, even like in the back, all in back here, it feels thick, it feels full. But yeah, this is what my hair is looking like in month 10. Now that that's out of the way, we're going to be looking at the products that I have been using. I'm going to break this down into probably about 3 to 4 categories / sections. The first one will be the one that I think you guys probably are the most intrigued about and the most interested in, which is going to be supplements. The second one is going to be more like care, which is more like the shampoo and the type of conditioner, that stuff. The third section will be more of the styling, the products I use to try to style my hair. And I say try, because like I already mentioned, it hasn't been working. The last one would be like the things that I've been trying to use like for the donor area over time. But anyway, let's get right into the supplements. When it comes to my hair and the supplements, there are 2 of really are the main things. And I have 2 other things which I think is just beneficial. I think it makes sense to use. The first one, this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like if you watch the videos, you will get the answers. I think my very first video I made within this discussion or topic was my hair transplant journey. If you watch that, you'll learn that this transplant is not my first, it's my second transplant. My first transplant was done with Bosley. And if you saw that video, I talked about finasteride or finasteride, however you pronounce it. I take it. I have been taking finasteride since 2017, 16, 17, somewhere around that time. My first hair transplant was done in 2015. Like most of you, once you're told that you may have to take it, you look it up, you do the research, you look at the side effects. I would say the majority of people, and I put myself into that category of the majority, the side effects that I read turned me off. And I was like, nah, I'm not taking that. I got a prescription right after my hair transplant. As a matter of fact, I got a prescription before my first hair transplant in 2015. I didn't take it. It wasn't until about a year and a half later that I had to check up with the doc, and he was like, are you taking your finasteride? And I was like, nah, I'm not taking that. Long story short, I had to start taking it. I made the mistake of not taking it. And so many of you out there are probably saying that you're not going to take it because you don't want the side effects. All right, so I'm editing the video right now, and there was something that I meant to say during the time of me filming it, but it just completely slipped my mind. And I just wanted to pop in here and basically share this frame of thinking that I've recently acquired when it comes to the medications. So when we talk about hair growth, medications is a very important topic. But one thing I've learned over the years on the internet when it comes to medications, the question being commonly asked about side effects. For instance, I'll be scrolling online and come across a YouTube video in the comment section, and people are asking each other if they have any side effects, which honestly I don't think is a bad thing. However, if you take that information and use the information to make a decision for yourself, they may not be the best thing to do because everyone's body doesn't react the same way to medication. Let's just say for me to one of you guys watching this video, if I go to you and I say, hey man, are you taking X, Y, and Z medication for your hair? And you say, yeah, I'm taking it. And I say, okay, great. Do you have any side effects? And you say, yeah, I have this side effect and I have that side effect. Naturally, the person's going to think that they're going to have the same exact side effects because that's kind of how people operate. And that may deter them from taking that medication because they're assuming that they're going to have that same exact side effect or same exact reaction to the medication. But that's not the way medications work. They don't affect people the same exact way. Or I can say, hey man, do you have any side effects with this medication? And you say, nah, I don't have no side effects at all. Some people are going to say, oh, that means I won't have any side effects at all either then. That's not the case. Medications will not affect everyone the same way. If I'm taking a medication, if I'm not having side effects from it, that doesn't mean that if you take it, you won't have any side effects from it. If I'm taking medication and I do have side effects, if you take it, that doesn't mean that you are going to have side effects. I got to a point where I personally don't believe in asking someone if they're having a side effect or not from a medication, because that doesn't necessarily help you. If they are, that sucks. And if they aren't, great. How does that help you? Because you are not them. The only way you're going to find out if you're going to be affected or not affected by a medication is simply just trying it. You have to try it for yourself. That's the only way you're going to know. If somebody's having a side effect and they say that you are, do not use that information to not take it for yourself. The truth of the matter is, very few people actually have side effects from medications. And if you do have a side effect from a medication, that doesn't mean you just stop taking it because you had a side effect. There are other options and alternatives. You can adjust the frequency of consumption of that medication. You can also adjust the dosage. You have to consult with the doctor who prescribes medication for you to figure out a regimen so you can get results from the medication. That's just the way it works. I just wanted to pop in here and say that because I think it's very, very important. But the medications are effective if you know how to properly use them. At one point, I wasn't taking it as often as I probably should have. I've been back to taking it daily as it's prescribed. The dosage that I'm taking is the 1 milligram. I don't know if you can see that too well, but it's a 1 milligram dosage, which is prescribed one time a day. I've been taking this for years, and ever since last year when I got my hair transplant, I've been taking this once a day. It works. Do I have any side effects? I know that's a question that's gonna be out there. Because I've been taking it for so long, no, not really. When I first started taking it, maybe I may have had some, if any. I think there is such a thing, and I don't know if this is the medical term, but like an incubation period for some medications when they are first introduced to your body and your system. You may experience temporary side effects, which can later subside, as long as you keep taking it. And for some people, you may have to adjust the dosage, change the frequency. As long as the medication is effective and it do what it's intended to do, that's all that matters. Finasteride, 1 milligram once a day, I take it. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to be where you want to be. I'm gonna just leave it at that. We'll talk about this more in a different video. The next one minoxidil, which I take orally. If you saw the hair transplant journey video, and I would encourage you guys to watch that video, it's the first video I made about this new journey that I've been on with my hair. I made that video like a couple days, 2-3 days before I actually went to Turkey. In that video, I spoke about minoxidil, and I actually tried taking minoxidil, the topical version, in 2018/19. I think I did it for maybe like several months to a year. And the one I use is the Kirkland brand. It works. It was effective. I started using it because I noticed that my hair was thinning quite excessively. And at the time, I don't know if I was taking finasteride as often as I actually know I wasn't taking it as often as I should have. I think I may have been taking it like once a week, twice a week, if that, which I don't think was enough. And when I started using the minoxidil topically, I think I used it twice a day, in the morning and at night. And in 3 months, I saw results. But what I didn't like about the topical minoxidil is that it gave me severe dandruff. It made my hair itchy. It made my scalp and hair appear kind of like milky, like kind of ashy and somewhat greasy. After a while, I just knew I just didn't want to use it no more. So I stopped. One of the downfalls about the medications is once you start taking them, you pretty much got to keep taking them, because the hair follicles that grow because of the medication, they become dependent on that medication. So once you stop taking the medication, those hair follicles are going to eventually start to miniaturize and then fall out, which doesn't happen right away, but over a course of maybe like 2, 3, 4, 5 months, those hair follicles will start to miniaturize and then stop growing. So once you start, keep at it. The dosage I am on is the 2.5 milligrams, and I take that once a day. I don't know if you can see that. When it comes to the finasteride, I get mine from Costco Pharmacy. I do not have an active Costco membership. I used to, but to use a pharmacy, you don't need one. I get it at Costco because they have it for the cheapest. I think I pay like $14, $15. Prices have fluctuated over the years, but on average, it's between $14 and $18. And that is for a 3-month supply. You can virtually get these from any pharmacy. Some pharmacies will be cheaper than others. My recommendation, if you get a prescription for either of these medications, call around the pharmacy, see which one has the best price. My minoxidil, I get filled at Kroger, which some of you may know it's a grocery store / pharmacy / drugstore. 90 tablets, I think I pay about $23 for it. So it's a little bit more than the finasteride. What can I say about minoxidil? It works, and I think orally is much better than topically. That's just my personal opinion. But these two together, it is amazing. They're amazing supplements to use for hair growth and hair restoration. Anybody who's going through hair loss, and if you're going to get a hair transplant, this is what I learned from my first hair transplant. The results I got they were good, but I didn't do what I needed to do post-transplant. I didn't take care of the reason why I was losing hair in the first place. If you don't address that reasoning, your hair loss will not stop. So you can go get how many hair transplants you want. The hair follicles that are native hair follicles over time will most likely miniaturize and then stop growing. There are other things that's out there that, maybe I may not have all the knowledge of. You can do your research. Saw palmetto. There's a lot of different oils and healing butters, and there's all the different things that's out there. But these are the two that has been known to be the most effective. And if my head is any indication of that, they work. I've seen the comments in other videos where people say like, oh, your results are so great. But I want you to keep in mind that when I had my hair transplant, I only had grafts placed along the hairline and in my corners. Everything else that you see here is my native natural hair. Post-Turkey and prior to Turkey, that hair wasn't that strong. It's everything that I've been doing since the hair transplant that has my results looking so good. If I wasn't doing these things, would the results look the same? I honestly don't think they would. Biotin. This one I take is a 10,000 micro MCG. I don't even know what that stands for, but I take the 10,000 one. Biotin is just great for your hair, your nails. But anyway, I've taken biotin for a couple years daily. It's supposed to work, so I take it. Maybe I can stop taking it and I wouldn't change, but I'm used to taking it, so I just keep taking it. Aside from that, and just for overall health, I take a multivitamin as well. This one I take is the men's one a day. You guys know what a multivitamin is, but it also does have biotin. It has all the essential vitamins, iron, calcium, everything that you pretty much need. The biotin that's in here is a 43 mcg. A multivitamin is essential, and I've taken multivitamins for years. They make me feel good. So to step back to the minoxidil and finasteride, because I forgot to mention this, I do take those one a day. I'm human, so I'm not perfect. I do miss some days sometimes. Some days I can get really busy, or some days my eating schedule is not right, and I can miss 2-3 days in a row sometimes. I don't make a habit of that. I would say I take it 85% of the time, and 15% of the time I don't. So I take it more times than I don't. Now we're going to get into the care, like how I care for my hair, how I wash it, the products I use, all of that stuff. The shampoo that I've been using for like the past 2 to 3 years is this right here, and it's a biotin shampoo, which I got from Amazon. Anything that I talk about in this video, if it's something that you can get online, if I can find a link for it, I'll link it down below for you guys so you can grab it if you want to. The conditioner is basically the same brand. I use a shampoo and I use a conditioner. I'll shampoo maybe like 2 times a week. It's never really more than that. I'll do about 2 times a week. In a rare occurrence, it might be once a week, but usually it's twice a week. As far as conditioner, I usually conditioner about 3 to 4 times a week, so more times than I actually wash. This bottle's actually empty. I saved it for the video, because I knew I would be doing this video. And I actually bought a much bigger version of this because I go through conditioner much quicker than I go through shampoo. Once I shower and my hair is pretty much wet, I do a little bit of a quick towel dry, but I don't really, dig the towel too deep in my head. I just kind of pat it dry. This is something I bought last year, and I feel like I bought it before getting the hair transplant, but I didn't start using this till maybe like month 3 to month 4 because I almost forgot I even had it. This is a biotin and collagen thickening leave-in spray. It's plant-based, natural ingredients. I just happened to come across this and I was like, let me just try it. Once I started using this, I realized that I really liked the way it made my hair feel. I don't know how beneficial it is. Wish I knew if it was really doing something, but my hair feels good, so I guess it could be doing something. It must be. Once I started using this at month 3 or 4, I don't remember exactly which month it was. Every time I pretty much shower and wash my hair or wet my hair, I just spray some of this in there. It really gives me a nice full thick feel in my hair. I also got this on Amazon, so I can link it down below for you guys. I'm almost out of this one, so I just picked up another bottle recently, and I think I paid maybe like $8 to $10 for it. If you've been watching my content for a while, sometime last year I had like a week in my life vlog, and at one point in that video you guys saw me wearing this. This is something that I have had for a couple years now. It is something that I wear about 3 to 4 times a week. This is a hair laser helmet. This one in particular is by iRestore. This one has 282 lasers built in the cap. You guys can Google lower laser light therapy or something like that. They've become really popular. Because I use all of this stuff in conjunction, it's hard for me to tell you which one is the best one. It's hard for me to tell you which one is worth it, which one isn't worth it, because I use them all together. The only way I'll be able to tell you would be like a process of elimination, which at this point I'm not gonna really stop doing anything I'm doing because it's all working. With the finasteride and minoxidil, those two alone, I think those two alone will work. But when you introduce something like this, I think it just magnifies those results, in my opinion. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. As a matter of fact, before I filmed this video, I was wearing it, and you wear it for 25 minutes. The way it works, battery pack, you charge the battery, put that on, put it on your head. And I'm not gonna actually start it since I actually did already wear it today, but you just start it. Well, I'll do it. You start it. It's just shining those lasers on your head. What it's designed to do is just give you that stimulation to the scalp. I'll look it up and see if I can give you guys details about it because I don't know exactly the scientific expression of it, but I'll try to find it for you guys. Before we're going to Turkey, I already had in my head what I wanted to do. Before my first transplant, I didn't plan anything. I knew when I got back, I was gonna get minoxidil orally. I knew I was already gonna bump up my finasteride. I knew I was gonna continue using my laser helmet. All of these things are things that I already knew I was gonna be doing. What I will say though, in Turkey, when I had my consultation, if you saw the experience video right up there, a lot of you seen that video. In that video, I talked about the consultation I had with the douchebag Fred. What I didn't necessarily tell you guys was during the time when we were going back and forth about how many grafts they wanted to give me, like I told you in that video, when I took my hat off, he said 6,000 grafts. There is no way in hell that 6,000 grafts would have worked for me. I wouldn't have no hair in the back of my head. That's how aggressive they are with their approach. I would have been bald back here at 6,000 grafts. They would have just destroyed the back of my head. I went in with the mindset of 2,500 because like I felt like that's all I would really need. And 3,000 was gonna be my absolute max, and maybe put some grafts in the crown because my crown was thinning. Try to go 6, didn't try to go 4. And I said, listen, man, I'm not doing all those grafts. I don't need all those grafts. I was hoping 2,500. He was like, but you won't get the density, you won't have this, you won't have that. And I'm like, I understand all that, but I don't think I need that much. I talked about all of that in that video. But then I told him I was already taking finasteride, and he was like, don't take that. You don't want to take that. It's not good. I was like, but I've been taking this for years. He was like, well, you shouldn't take that. If his mindset of the medication is any indication or any example of how the other people within the clinic or the country think about the medications, I can see why they're always trying to go high number with grafts, because they're trying to provide the coverage, assuming that everything on the frontal lobe is going to eventually fall out. So they're just trying to give you coverage. If you're taking medications or you're doing what you can do to stop or block the DHT hormone, you don't need that maximum number of grafts. I was thinning all here. I talked about this in my 7-month update video. This was almost gone. These medications brought it back. And when I told him that I was going to be doing this, he told me not to do it. If I didn't do it, like he said, not to do, I wouldn't have the full head of hair. A lot of you keep seeing the results that I have, saying that, you know, how much of a great job that they did. Don't get me wrong. The technicians who did the surgery, they did a good job. But if it wasn't for me having a plan and what my approach would be after the hair transplant, I don't think I would have the same results. I just want to make that very clear. Let's talk about the donor area real quick before I go into the styling aspect. One of the months I talked about, you know, the donor area and derma rolling. I still derma roll. I'm doing it about once a week. Sometimes I get busy and I do forget. I never miss more than 2 weeks though, but I'm still doing it. So if anything, I'm doing it 3 times a month. I've been using aloe on the back. I use this also after I derma roll, probably like 4 to 5 times a week in the mornings. Since I've been doing it, I feel like, you know, the donor has looked a little bit better, but at the end of the day, I don't think nothing's going to fully change it unless I get the SMP, which I feel like I most likely will do at some point. So now let's talk about styling. Good problem to have. It got so full, and you know, it's getting even more full as the days go by. As you can see, like the top is a little bit longer, and I kind of wanted it to grow. I didn't know what I would do with it. I still don't know what I'm going to do with it. I may end up cutting it down some because it's getting a little bit unmanageable. Right around like month 4, month 5, I ended up getting this, which is jojoba oil, just to kind of, you know, add some good oil to my hair, to moisturize the hair a little bit. I didn't want to use anything heavy, and I read that jojoba oil was one of the oils that you could use that wasn't so heavy. You know, I've had this bottle for quite a while. I don't use it. I don't know if you can see the level, pretty much right here. So it's not even halfway gone. It's not something I use often. If anything, I might end up using that maybe like once a month at this point. I just don't put a lot of oils in my hair. I don't like putting a lot of products in my hair in general. I was trying to figure out how to curl the top of this a little bit, how to get a nice little natural looking curl. So I ended up getting this, the Shea Moisture Curl and Style Milk. It's the coconut and hibiscus curl and style milk with silk, protein, and neem oil. Something about this it weighs my hair down. It makes my hair feel kind of greasy after using it. I still have it. I maybe use a little. It looks full because I sit the bottle like this, so when I do use it, it's easy to come out. So that's why you can see all the product at the top there. You can see the bottom is clear because I sit it this way. I don't use it much. It's really like only that much of it gone. I end up watching so many videos of people, you know, giving advice for how to get your hair curly and this and that. I saw this, and I saw this Eco Styling Gel. This is an olive oil shea butter with black castor oil and flaxseed. Has a max hold of 10. For all hair types, alcohol free. This weighs my hair down too. Maybe the hold is too high. The first 2 things I tried to get that little bit of curl, I didn't like them. And then once the product is in my hair and I touch my hair, it's like so greasy feeling. I don't like that. I put this in first, and then after that, I'll put this in, and I put a little bit of oil in there, which is, you know, what I saw people saying to do. Doesn't work out too well for me. Recently, and I say recently as in the past couple weeks, I tried to use the Cantu products instead. So this one is the moisturizing curl activator cream, and then here we have the coconut curling cream. I didn't know which one would work better for my hair, so I got both. What I will say is they are better than the Shea Moisture, at least for me, but even still, they're not doing it for me, and I don't know why I can't get none of these products to do what I wanted to do for my hair. But anyway, That's what I've been trying. Now that that part of the video is done, we're gonna go back up. We're gonna try to style my hair, and I'm gonna show you how these things end up working out. So let's go do that. So I just took a shower and my hair isn't really as wet anymore. It kind of dried up a little bit. But what I'm gonna do to wet it and add some moisture to it is I have this little spray bottle. As you can see there, it's basically just water, but I filled this bottle with water. And what I usually do, especially when my hair's gotten a little dry, I just kind of spray at it with the water. Let me back up a little bit. Then when I get the lens all wet. So spray at it generously with the water. And I kind of just rub that water in there to add that moisture back into my hair. I think I have enough in there. I don't know if you can really tell, you can see it. So, hands all wet. But that's usually the first step. But usually if I got out of the shower, my hair is still wet, I don't, of course, do that. I do that if my hair is, of course, dry. In the morning, this is usually what I do just to add moisture to my hair. Just, you know, try to create some style to it. Especially if I don't add products to it, I just kind of do that and just go with my day. Of course, if I want to style it, then I'll try to use other products. But that's the first step. And I'm usually using this after I shower. That's mainly when I use it. Other than that, I really don't use it. I still use it fairly often. So, and what I do with this is just kind of the same thing. Spray about that much, which is just enough. And then I kind of just rub that in there real nice. I don't know if you can see, but naturally I have a nice little curl pattern going on. From here, once my hair dries, it just gets frizzy. It doesn't have the same kind of look that I want it to. And from here, I actually want it to be a little bit more curly than this. So, of course, this I talked about. Don't really like that too much. It just doesn't give me the look I want. And then there's these two. So out of these two, you know, I've been using them, trying to see which one I like. Out of these two, and this one is a curling cream to keep in mind. And this one is the Curl Activator Cream. Coconut curling cream, moisturizing curl activator cream. Out of these two, I've learned that this one is the one that works the best. This one is a lighter product. It's not as heavy, but it doesn't really curl my hair the way I want it to. And maybe I'm not using enough of it. I'm not entirely sure. So I'll play around with that someday. But to style it, I'm going to use this and I'm going to show you guys how my hair looks. That's how much I'm going to use initially. Just rub that in. And I'm looking in the mirror so I can see what I'm doing here. And I just kind of rub it in at the top generously. And that's how much I'm just going to add. And as you can see, it goes in white. It does dry. And I'm going to just rub it in. All right, so this is what we're looking like so far. I got to wipe it off my forehead, as you can see. But I'm going to let this sit for about 15-20 minutes, and then I'll come back at you guys and let you know how it looks. As you can see here, it has mostly dried. And this is kind of how I've been able to somewhat style it. This is not exactly what I want out of it, but this is what it is. My hair is still, it's frizzy. So I don't really know how to not make it that frizzy. Just as a reminder, the biotin and collagen leave-in spray, and then this curl activator cream. These are the two things that I used. I forgot to mention that if you guys decide to get this, it does smell, it smells almost like a floral smell. What it reminds me of is like an older lady's perfume. So I don't really like that too much. But once you spray it in there and it's been in there for a couple minutes, you really don't notice it too much. And if you put something else in your hair that will mask the smell, then you won't notice it, of course. So that's what I used. And this is, again, what it looks like. It's still frizzy. It's somewhat curly, but it's not exactly how I would want it to be. Any advice that you guys have, I do have that gel. Maybe I could try adding the gel to it and seeing what that could do. But again, when I use the gel, but to be fair, I use the gel with the Shea Moisture curling stuff. So I haven't used the gel with this. So maybe I can attempt trying that. So any advice that you guys have for me, please leave it down below in the comment section. I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, that is how I currently style my hair. Here is a quick 360. Basically now, where we're at 10 months, approaching 10 months. As far as these hair transplant video goes, because I know you guys have been loving these videos, if the amount of views are any indication how much you guys like them, but I gotta be honest here, this is not what I'm passionate about. You know, I'm basically just sharing a journey with you guys. I'm sharing my experiences with this stuff with you guys, but this is not what this platform is designed for. This is not what I intend to do with this platform. When it comes down to it, this channel has been a style, fashion, and lifestyle channel, and that's what it's gonna maintain being. I just want to keep trying to remind you guys, you guys coming from this hair transplant community, or you guys that belong to this community, I do appreciate you guys. And you know, I don't know how much more I can actually show that by making the kind of content that you want. But going forward, 2 to 3 more videos is probably all I'm going to give this subject and this topic. And then if I decide to do SMP, of course, I'll share that with you guys. I just don't want the rest of my creativity to be held back by this community. And not that you guys are doing it intentionally, but when I do post a fashion or video that's not related to this, it's that content is being hurt because my channel is being so dominated by this community and this audience that when I post a video, it's mainly going to that community. That's the way the algorithm works. Because you guys are the ones watching, you guys are subscribing, my other content is going to you guys not watching it. So that content suffers. So I gotta keep that in mind and try to cater towards what I want this platform to be. I only tend to do maybe 2 or 3 more videos with this stuff. The next video, I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into, I guess, the psychology of the minoxidil and the finasteride, you know, that people have behind it. I'll give more of my input there. I will most likely do a year update and maybe like a 15-month update. And then of course I'll do SMP if I do that. But that's all I am gonna intend to give this. Aside from that, if you guys want more help, if you guys need more help from me, you guys can visit the website and schedule that one-on-one booking with me. You know, I've been at this since 2015. What's that, 7 years? My math, yeah, 7 years. You know, I have amassed a decent amount of knowledge, so hopefully I can share that. I do like where I'm at with the hair. I think the results that I've gotten and am getting have been great. And even at month 10, I've been seeing a difference within the past few weeks, really. So for the next couple months, next 2 to 6 months, I do hope to also see more results. When it comes to the donor area, I haven't given up. SMP may be in my future. I'm leaning more to like 80% is going to be in the future. So we'll talk about that then. But anyway, that does it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Again, visit my website, schedule a one-on-one booking with me. We can sit down, we can chat, I can help you guys out. That does it for this video. It was a long one, packed with information. So hopefully you guys found it helpful and insightful. But that does it for this video, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Peace.